Good evening and welcome to another instance of the blind leading the blind, so to speak. For this video I thought I would do a very simple introduction to using flags in conversations, which is of course really important in the base game, and it's also something really fun to figure out. So I thought that we would create a chat with this lady over here, who is currently enjoying the sunlight, so let's pretend she's having a nice time. We will make a really simple conversation. Deliria will greet us. Hi, I'm Deliria. Who are you? And we will do an ability check. We will try to say, Deliria, you are the prettiest vampire spawn I've ever met. So let's see what we can do here. Add roll result, right? And add roll result. So when you add the roll results, it will add the success and the fail. If you just simply add a node that says active role, it will appear automatically, but it didn't in the last case here because I changed the node. So you can add all of these things later. And you can, of course, remove them. So if our role is successful, Deliria will answer. What will she say? Oh my god, thank you. People are so rarely kind. If you fail, she will answer, I don't believe you. And we turn these into endnotes. Now there are a couple of things we have to do. We have to assign the speakers, so let's just do that quickly. You can make this window larger to make it easier for yourself. So under Advanced, you assign the speakers. Let's find Deliria. This would be Deliria the shirtless test, but thankfully she is wearing a shirt, so I won't run into any more YouTube problems anytime soon. Then we add the players, of course. And our role should perhaps not be based on strength now, should it? Maybe we do charisma. We are trying to hit her up after all. And when you are adding roles, you can change the ability that is necessary. You can change the role type, so there are a lot of different options here. You can use skills as well, and then you will get your bonuses and everything. But let's just go with the raw ability role, charisma, difficulty class. Here you have a lot of different options. Some standard ones from Act 1. If you go all the way down, you will find different numbers. So you can put in basically any type of role that you want. Even go up to 99 if you want to put another brain in your mod or something like that. But let's just go with the Act 1 medium, because we want to see both outcomes, right? Okay, so if we succeed our role, let's put a flag if she responds, right? So here are the flags, and you can add flags to check for and flags to set. So let's start with setting flags. We can add a global custom flag. For example, let's see. Deliria flirt success. You can describe it. Flirting with Deliria, well, Dal, successful. Add it. And you can add, yeah, we put it under set. That's important. Flag to set, okay. If she doesn't believe us, we failed with our flirt, right? So, I forgot what I named the last one, but let's call it level 7 Dal flirt fail. Flirting with Deliria failed. So we just have to save this. That's level 7, Dal flirt. And we have to create a timeline for this. Timeline generate, oop. timeline, generate full copper. Okay. Let's use one of our favorite templates. Yeah. Okay. And right. So let's just see if this works. Ah, it doesn't work. And why does it not work? It doesn't work because we didn't assign the conversation to her, right? So we have to remember to do that. Easiest way is default dialog, and we didn't give it a very smart name, did we? 7, did we? Yeah, we did. Level 7 dial flirt. Right, set it. Let's see, does it work? Yeah. You're the prettiest vampire spawn I've ever met. Succeed. Right, so now we know that our conversation works. So why does this matter? It matters because even in the same dialogue, you can make these flags mean something. For example, we can add a new conversation. So let's add 2 greetings just to make this really, really simple and easy to understand. If our flirting has been successful, when we talk to Deliria again, she will say, "Hi, it's my biggest fan. Do you have plans tonight?" And then we will check for the flag that we just set under global. And let's filter for it because we didn't give it a very nice name. We gave it the name Deliria Flirt Success. Okay. And then for the other one, it's when we've failed. She can reply, "Never speak to me again." She can reply, "Dude, I'm not interested," which will check for a flag where we failed in our flirt. So let's search for flirt, dial flirt fail. Okay, both of these are end nodes. And logically speaking, these should trigger once we have set the flag right, but it's not that easy because we have to set this greeting node to also check for these flags, but then not check for the flags. This can be a little tricky to understand. But let's add the flags. Flirt success and flirt fail. Okay, so now this conversation will check for these flags, and that means the conversation will not trigger because we have not yet triggered the flags. Let's uncheck them. So we are saying that this greeting node will not check for these 2 flags, and these other greeting nodes will. All right, so after doing some troubleshooting, we have figured it out. So we have our dialogue here. There's a greeting, you do an ability check, and you get an answer. The answer will set a flag, a flirt success or a flirt fail, just like in real life. And then these greeting nodes that are also end nodes will have to check for both of the flags. And you need to unselect the one that is not active in this scenario. Same for the other one, right? It will be the other way around. The greeting node will need to check for both of them, but it will only trigger if the flags are not set. Yes, so perhaps this is a complicated example, but let's see if it works. So when you are playing around with flags, the flags will of course set when you are testing things out. So do reload level and story. This will reset the flags. So here we are starting over.
Need to find a way forward.
And let's see if this lady is interested in flirting with us. So, it's the cooking show trick again.
Swift as my feet can carry me.
I might have added some animations. and I might be up for a romantic evening with Dal. Let's see if it works out. Ah, you are the prettiest vampire spawn I've ever met, at least this evening. Let's see how it goes. Yes. Flirting success. Thank you. Now, let's try to talk to her again. Aha. Well, it's time for a date. But that will be a different video. So let's try to fail this check and see what happens. Hi there. Let's try again. We failed. She doesn't believe us. And she is definitely not interested. So that was a little showing you how flags can work. And it's a perfect opportunity to make a dating simulator mod, I would say. Let's do one more thing. Do you remember this guy? So he is still in the level and we have a conversation with him already, right? That would be the Cazador chat, right? If you remember from the last video. So let's say that when we ask our question, we set a flag, right? We will call it level 7, spoke to Cas. We spoke to Cazador. Okay. I forgot to save it. Global. Level 7, spoke to Cas. We spoke to Cazador. So here you have to click add. Easy to forget. Okay. So we will save that. And then we will open the chat with Deliria. Dal flirt. And then we will add, maybe not work on the read only one. Let's see. We will add question. Hey, I just spoke to Cazador. This node will only be available if the flag level 7 spoke to Cas. Not that one. Spoke to Cas is active. She will reply. Oh gods, he is such a dick, right? And that will be the end node. Timeline should be alright. And let's reload and try. Now to reset the flags, we need to reload the level and story. Okay, so it turns out we actually did have to refresh the timeline, which I did by just reopening the conversation and selecting refresh timeline. Sometimes this option doesn't appear, but whenever you change the conversation, it's good practice to do that. So in this case, we have added a flag to be set when speaking to Cazador, right? And this flag will be checked when we speak to Deliria. So let's speak to Cazador. We will go through this somewhat strange conversation. And this should have set the flag. Let's speak to Deliria. Hi, I'm Deliria. Who are you? We get the flirt option, but also we get the option that, hey, I just spoke to Cazador. And she thinks he's a dick. What happens if we speak to her again? Yeah, so the same conversation triggers. Because we have not set any particular flags associated with the flirt, right? So the same conversation will keep triggering unless there's a different flag to make it not trigger. And there are also some other ways to make a conversation. Let's just fail at flirting again. There are other ways to get dialogues to only trigger once, but I think the flag approach might be the easiest, at least for a beginner. That is me. And I hope you enjoyed this little lesson in flirting.